Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Today I'm going to be taking you through a Pilates class designed for back strength and mobility and some flexibility in there, and of course core work. Let's get started on the mat. In a seated position, any seated position, sitting tall, untucking the pelvis, shoulders down away from ears, and imagine you've got a golden cord attached to the crown, pulling you upright. Left arm comes out to the side, right arm overhead, and we bend to the side. Putting both of your hips into the mat. Feeling the stretch on your right side. Inhale, back to center and over to the other side. Keeping your knees down, pushing your hips down. Inhale, back to center. Over to the other side, but arm comes around the back of the head. I'm going to rotate in, feel that stretch in the lats and the back, and out to the other side. Taking your time. Going for 10, opening up in the heart center. Feeling the stretch. Pushing those hips into the mat. Exhale as you twist. Good. Another 2. You might feel this on the back of the shoulder as well, so strengthen that. Good. And then extend the arm overhead for a final stretch on that side, bending in the left arm. Good, inhale, back to center, over to the other side, behind head bent, push in and out. Looking at your elbow as you twist round. Another 5. One more. Good, and extend the arm overhead. Push your hips down, opening that gap between the ribs and the hip. Good. Coming into a tabletop position. If you've had a back injury or if you spend a lot of time sitting, just be careful with the cat position. Maybe just go from neutral to cow, neutral to cow. So it's a small forwards and backwards motion. Could do this first and then go into a bit of a cat. We spend a lot of time in the cat if we bent over a desk or in the car. Exhaling in the cat if you do go to it. Inhaling in the cow, looking up to the ceiling. Feeling the stretch and tension in the front and the back of the body. 2 more. Good. When you've finished your final one, we're going to extend our left leg, our right arm comes over, so opposite arm to opposite leg, and as we come out to the side, we're going to push back our shoulder, back to the center and down. Up, arm comes across, back to center and down. Nice and controlled, keeping in a neutral spine, so you're not dumping everything in the pelvis. And just go as high up as what you feel is comfortable. Another 5 if you can. You can break in between these or even go into a child's pose at any time. You're the boss. Another 3. And distribute your weight evenly over the left and the right side. 1 more. You can either rest or you can stay in this position for a small pulse for 10. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And before releasing, you can try and grab hold of your ankle or release. You're just going to push your foot away from your hand and distribute evenly over the left and the right side. Feeling that stretch in your hip flexor and tension in your lower back. Deep breath and release. Well done. I'm going to go into child's pose, so knees together, head on the mat, bum on the heels of the feet. 2 deep breaths. One more. Back to box. And the arm that we just used, we're going to thread the needle with it. Extend the other arm over your head. Push your scapula, your shoulder blade down towards the floor and open up that stretch. If that feels okay, the arm above your head can be tucked into your back pocket or inner thigh. And allow yourself to feel that twist, that stretch. One more deep breath, making sure your chest isn't collapsing to the ground. Good. Back into 4 cat-cow. Let's see how we get on and feel this time. Good, one more. Now the opposite arm to opposite leg. Evenly distribute that weight. Come over, spreading the arm out and back to center and drop. Going for another 10 or as many as you feel comfortable with. And we're searching for that warmth above the hip with the leg that's extended out. Make sure you're engaging your core to protect your lower back. Another 5. One more. And we're going to hold for an optional of 10 pulses. 8, 7, feel that warm. 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. And grab hold of that back ankle. If you can, push your ankle away from you. Feel that tension in your lower back. Hip flexor stretch. And it opens up your posture. And release. Child's pose, slowly does it. If you're tight. 2 deep breaths. Now the arm that we've just worked is threaded through the needle. Arm overhead, settle in. And you can bring that other arm into your back pocket or inner thigh. Taking care for your shoulders not to drop into the floor. Good. Back into tabletop position. Another 4 cat-cow. And from the cat-cow, you're going to be in a cow. We're going to bring our palms of our hands a little bit further forward than our shoulders. And you're going to catch, stretch slowly. You can stop here, or you can bring your hips right down into a cobra. Feel that stretch in your base of your spine. Try and relax, shoulders down, away from ears, and a good bend in the elbows. Catch, stretch out, abs engaged. Child's pose. Hands don't move. Catch, stretch out with child's pose. Cobra. So cobra and any back bends like this, meant to be really good for anyone with slipped discs. Meant to bend like this. Just mobilizing and working on flexibility of the spine. It's like that opposite to the cat again. Spine stretch out. Child's pose. Nice and slowly using the abs. One more. Feel that stretch in your base of your back, pelvis, hip flexors, abs. And from here, it's going to slowly come down onto our bellies. As we isolate now the back muscles. So we've done a bit of back work along with other muscles, but now we're isolating the muscles next to the spinal column, which takes pressure off the spine and improves posture and endurance and helps you walk and just stand upright in general. So if you want to keep your feet flat on the floor, and inhale to push off and exhale, release. You know it's working when you start to get that warmth or a burning sensation. Only come up as far as what feels comfortable, and then if you want to bring the legs off the floor as well to add more load and weight and strength to the lower back, feel free. I want you to lead with the shoulder blades as you're coming off. So think about those shoulder blades touching each other. And pause at the top for a squeeze. Pause at the top for a burn. Another 10. So we're warming up all of these muscles so we can get into some nice deep stretches. Another 5. And again, if you're not sure how your back's going to respond to this, maybe not done any isolation before or in a while, save some reps in the tank, okay? Don't go to true fatigue. 2 more. 1 more. Good. A few seconds rest. You can do the same exercise, or you can bring our arms behind us, shoulders touching each other, the shoulder blades, feet off the floor. And as we're keeping up, so isolation's nice and safe, our feet are hitting each other. Like you're trying to swim. 10, 9, 8, 7. Where are you feeling the warmth? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Take your time. Pushing off. Hips rise first to protect the lower back. Child's pose. So we're nice and got that lactic acid. It's nice and warm down there. We're stretching it out. So take your time as you go into that counter pose. Bending the back the other way. Deep breaths. 2 deep breaths. Filling the lungs completely. Good. Feel free to grab a drink. I've done that yet. Round 2 next. If at any point you just want to stretch it out, and feel free. So making our way over to the belly again. Dorsal raises. Feet into it or not. Looking for about 20 to 25. The slower, more controlled you come down, the better. Pause at the top for a squeeze and a tense, and then release. If you want strong abs, a strong back, you need to work it. And again, elbows right behind you. Another 9. See how high up you can get. 4, good. 3. Let it burn. 2. Good. When you finish last rep, a few seconds rest. You might feel this in your hamstrings as well, because we are working those on your glutes. Do the same exercise, rest or progress. Coming up and touching our toes, our feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Hips come off first. Back into child's pose for a stretch. 2 deep breaths, pause at the top with full lungs for slowly exhaling. You might need to come out of the child's pose to fill them lungs a little bit, that's fine. And then sinking further in. So 2 sets, 2 supersets is quite a lot. So it's up to you if you want to go again for some strength. We can reduce the reps, even 10. To make sure it's progressive and you're building muscle and strength as long as you get your protein. Dorsal raises 10 to 20. Make sure that you're feeling it on either. You might feel the burn more on the right side or the left side more than the other. It can be an indication that your hips aren't level, so level them out, or you might just have a weaker side. And we're warming up the hamstrings as well so we can get into a stretch there. A lot of seated positions can tighten our hamstrings and hip flexors. Another 10. 6, good. 3 more. 2. Good. When you finish the last rep, a few seconds rest, wait for any burning to subside, arms extended, legs up and hit. 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Hips up, child's pose. 2 deep breaths. Just take your time planting your bum on your heel. Excellent, well done. Let's do a 4 cat count and see how that feels. Hopefully more warm and mobile. Or you might not notice any difference, but one day you may. And this is why we're doing it. It's for that education, knowing what feels normal for your body. Good. Reverse tabletop next. Big on the back, big opener for the chest. So only come up as high as you can with your hips, core engaged, shoulders down. Higher you get your hips, just like the glute bridge, squeeze your bum cheeks. The higher you get your hips, the more of your lower back to mid back you engage. You might feel in your arms as well, likely. Small bend in the elbow. Shifting your weight over to the left and bringing your right up, if that feels comfortable. And just slowly Swapping over and have a look down, make sure your hips aren't sinking, stay level as we work on pelvic stability and strength all around, including the lower back. Rib cage in, belly button to spine. Try and keep them hips up as high as you can. Another 2. One more. Stay here or challenge more weight to the lower back and extend. Pushing hips up. Feel that burn and that lower warmth. Good. Bum comes down. Arms by your side. Semi-supine. Apanasana with your tailbone on the mat for a hug. And roll side to side. Deep breaths. You can tell I've been researching this week, can't you? There's a lot of new ones in it. Okay, coming upright again into reverse tabletop. No pressure. You can even just stay here, but higher up you go, more mid to lower back, engaged in strength. Couple of breaths, hold, weight in the heel, engage them abs, and let's begin shifting the weight over to the left. Have a look down, watch your hips, make sure they're not sinking. Mine do slightly on the right more than the left, so I'm going to sort that out. Core's engaged better now. Another 4, 3, 2, one more. Good, extending both, stay here or extend, relaxing the neck, not too much, don't want whiplash. Deep breath, one more. Feel that warmth in the right areas. Release hips to floor. Whew, that brings a sweat on, unless it's that light tanning me. Apanasana, counter pose, knees in for a hug and roll. So I've done a lot of isolation on the back there. Good. Next, I'm going to come up into a glute bridge. So again, higher you get your hips up, the more lower to mid, obviously the glutes and the hamstrings, the more you're strengthening. So tune in where you're feeling that little burn, that warmth. Inhale, arms rise. Holding this position, another 2 deep breaths to bring in some relaxation. Switch on that parasympathetic nervous system to get you out of any tension, stress responses, which can cause back injury, back pain. This time we're going to hold that position still, but we're going to come onto the edges of our feet, knees out, and our arms are going to stay here. In and out, squeezing the glutes, the bum cheeks. So you could just bring your knees in and out using your knees, but I want you to really use or overuse and clench the bum cheeks. It's the foundation of the building, the glutes. The stronger they are, the stronger your lower back. Squeezing them as hard as you can. If you want to progress it more, when your legs come out, your arms come out. It's like closing a book. So it's a big stretch. Keep them hips up. Another 4, 3 onto the ridges of your feet. 2, 1. Well done. And release. So we're coming for a hug and roll. I'm really looking forward to some deep stretches in the back after this. Once more. I'm going to hold that glute bridge first. Inhale, arms rise. Keep them hips up. One more. Good, onto the ridges of our feet, knees out and in. And if you want to progress it, arms do the same for 10. Keep them hips up. You can really feel the weight transferred to the outer glute, back to the center. Let it burn. 5, 4. It's all nice and controlled. You know, you're not rushing it. You're not being bullied by gravity. And it's natural for your hips to come down a little bit as you open your legs. One more. Good, release. Whew. Knees in for a hug and roll. Feel that nice massage on the back. Okay, core next. I'm going to come up into tabletop. Let's make sure that back's flat against the floor. Hands underneath, neck, rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine, holding that tension in the core. As we do this, and as we bring our shoulders off the floor, supporting our neck, we're not pulling on our neck, coming down again. And we're going to extend one leg back, the other leg back, all whilst keeping that lower back curve away. So back is planted. So I only want you to go out with that leg until you feel your back lift, if that makes sense. Another 10. So even if, because I can't come all the way out yet without my back lifting, so I'm not going to. Quality over quantity. Another 4. 3, 2, let it burn. One more. Well done. Hug and roll. Let's go into semi-supine actually and do 2 big breaths for relaxing. Inhale, arms rise. Filling the lungs completely. Pause with full lungs with 4 slower. Exhale for a count of 4. Another one. Inhale, relax the pelvic floor. Pushing the belly out, and then exhale, holding in the pelvic floor and the abs. Good, we're going to do that again. Legs up in tabletop, I'm going to hold that. So the back is completely flat against the floor right now. Hands behind head. Extend as far as you can with that back staying flat. The connections are so subtle that are lost. So keep checking, is your lower back flat and touching the floor? And that's forcing your lower core to switch on and protect your lower back. Another 5, shaky, shaky. 2 more. 1 more. Well done. 2 deep breaths. Inhale, arms rise, relaxing the pelvic floor like you're on the toilet, passing. Slowly exhale, holding everything and engaging your abs. 1 more. Well done. I'm going to stretch the arms and legs right out like we've just got out of bed. Exaggerating a bit of a curve in that lower back. Big stretch. Pushing the arms and legs away from the center. Good. Bringing your feet in and knees out to the side for inner groin stretch. Natural curves in your back. And just try and relax your knees. You can, if you do this at home, or you can grab yoga blocks on either side. See, it's all about relaxing. So there's no tension, because if you're quite tight, your body's going to tense up ever so subtly, just a few muscle fibers. So just trying to stretch and relax. You might feel tight or discomfort more on one side than the other. bring our knees in. We're going to shift our hips over to the left, our knees over to the right for spinal twist. First things first, make sure your shoulder blades are on the mat and we'll settle in. So don't progress this unless your shoulder blades are flat on the mat, extending both arms out to the side. Allow yourself and be aware of where you're feeling this stretch. Really good and safe one if you ever have any tightness, stiffness or injury in your back, if you're able to get into it. Ideally though, your hips are meant to be stacked but shoulders down. If you want to progress it and add more weight to the lower for a stretch, extend that leg. Can that foot touch the carpet? And you can hold on to the back of the hamstring with your hand. And the trunk area I feel tenses up, so just try and relax like you're becoming a dead weight. Inhale. And the slower you exhale, the more relaxation and the more you're going to come out of any stress responses. Whether you know that you're in them or not, a lot of the time it's subconscious. Do you feel this around your rib area, maybe your pec or shoulder, your glute? Is it just your lower back or towards your left hip? Try and lean more into that stretch if you can. Bending a little bit more in the knee. That's on top. 2 more deep breaths. I've known some people to stay in this for 3 to 6 minutes. That's what yin yoga is. It takes that long for your tension to release if you've been walking loads or a stressful time. 1 more big deep breath. And sink. Excellent. Bending both knees. Carefully take your time if you're a bit stiff. Coming over to the other side. So shifting your hips over to the right, knees over to the left, and then settle in and get used to this new position. Shoulder blades on the mat. Can you get them on the mat on this side? You might not want to progress it on this side. Treat every side differently. Or it might take longer to release tension. Big inhale to increase the stretch. Where do you feel it on this side? Is it roughly the same? If you want to increase that and progress the stretch, extend that leg. Can your foot touch the other side? Relax the trunk area and switch off the muscles around the hip and core and back. Lean into that stretch. Should be nice and safe, everything's nice and warm. 2 more big deep breaths. Good. Rolling over onto the side that you're bending. Take your time. I'm going to come up and make our way over to the pigeon pose. So we carry a lot of our stress and tension in our glutes. We get very tight. Only recently did I realise that my glutes were tight. So you want to be in the centre of the mat. The good bend in the knee if needed, but you're trying to feel that stretch on the glute. If you're coming up too far, it'll pull you off centre, but it's your job to sit in the middle. As you begin to settle in, you can come down onto your elbows. And try and relax any tensed muscles by using deep breaths. Two more big deep breaths. Can you feel any give? I'm going to switch over, take your time, and see how this side is. Start with a good bend in the center. Settle in. And bend at the elbow if that feels okay. You can bring the foot up a little bit higher. Relax the glutes. Relax the hamstrings and the thigh, and sink into the mat. Relax. Deep breaths. One more deep breath. Did you feel the give? Inhale back to a seated position for the hamstring stretch. So a lot of people can bend at the lower back for this. I want you to sit tall, untuck the pelvis, so shimmy forward. So your vertebrae stacked like books, chest proud. Lead with the belly first. You might feel that might be enough already. And then the chest comes down. Because I could easily come right down, but I'm bending at the spine. We're trying to open the hips and stretch the hamstrings. So keeping that curve away in the lower back. Deep breaths. Going to hold, engage the core to protect that lower back. Good, and then we're going to bring both feet together. Again, same principle, sitting tall, you've got that golden string pulling you upright. You're going to come further forward if you can keep that lower back curve away. Engage the core. And feel that inner stretch in the inner thigh. You might feel some warmth in the lower back as well. Good for posture. Good. I'll come to any seated position that feels comfortable for you as we begin pranayama relaxation to bring in some good sleep quality tonight, hopefully. So again, sitting tall, untucking the tailbone, you've got that lower back curve. So I'm going to settle into this posture. Shoulders down, chest proud. Pinning them shoulder blades back. Inhaling through the nose for a count of 4. Pause for a count of 2. Exhale for a count of 4 through the nose. So it's nice and warming and relaxing. On the inhale, pushing your belly out. then your rib cage and chest, and then on the exhale, your chest should sink, then your ribs, and then your belly empties in that order. So it's 3 stages. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Filling the lungs completely, getting all that oxygen in, and then slowly exhaling. The breath and feeling how it feels, noticing how it feels in the body is the anchor of the mind. Keeps you present instead of thinking too far in front or in the past. Taking a moment to be proud of yourself for taking time for your body and looking after it and the mind and doing what feels good. Every time your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to your posture, back to the 3 stages. A lot of people think as well, in order to come out of a fight-flight response or to calm down, they need to do a full yoga class. It's not true. Even just placing your hand on your heart and having 10 deep breaths can make you feel so much better and slow everything down. If you've got any questions, feel free to come and see me after class, anything you want to talk about. Thanks for coming tonight, Namaste. I hope you sleep well.